how to become an original. Everybody wants to be that guy that, you go into a room and you're like, he's different. There's something about him. Aura. There's something about that person's energy that makes them stand out from the crowd. He's not like anybody else. There's an X factor to him, right? What that is that person is unique. He is completely himself. He's not trying to mimic anybody. He's not copying anybody. He's not trying to be anything other than who he is from within. Okay, and that's how you really become an original. I'll go through the process in this video, but I want to tell you why you should do it. Okay, the why is that if you are an original, which you already are, the only limitation is that you don't see it. You are irreplaceable. Okay, you are one of one in the world. God, the universe made you to be here. As Gary Vee says, 400 trillion to 1 the odds of you being born. And I believe in God, I believe in universe, I believe that we're all made here by a intelligent creation, a creator, and I believe that each single person is one, and it's proven, by the way. Your thumbprint is unique. It's unique to every single individual on the planet by birth. There's not a single person that has the same thumbprint. Even twins, they have it differently. So that shows that there's something absolutely unique about you, and that your job is to go through your hero's journey to figure that out and realize this. Okay, that's something I have done. When you achieve the impossible, which I have achieved, put a video up, I'll tag it. It's called Do the Impossible or something, Doing the Impossible. You basically, when you do the impossible, you become yourself, your true self, your other self. And that other self is an original. Okay, it just is one of one. And why you should be an original, how to become an original, is you have to dig deep in. It's all about self-awareness. Okay, nobody on this fucking planet can tell you who you should be, who you're meant to be, what you're meant to do. It's not that 99% of people don't know fucking shit. Okay, first of all, nobody knows jack shit. The few people that know, like myself, and like a few people that have gone on their hero's journey, that have achieved the impossible. And again, achieving the impossible is not about financial success or glory or fame. It's not about that. It's about completely knowing who you are from within. Maybe you can have that when you start. Maybe that's having high self-esteem or whatever. I didn't know. For me, my hero's journey was figuring out that I am the hero, and I believe that's what it is for everyone. At least that's what the first cycle is. But it's just when you go deep within and you go like fucking in your self-awareness, you can literally figure out every tiny detail about you. The way you sit, the way you dress, the way you talk, what makes you laugh, what makes you angry, what makes you sad, what brings you happiness, what takes away your happiness, what type of music you like, every single detail. I'll give you an example. Okay, no two creators can be the same ever. First of all, there's a saying that like everything is already made, and like you don't really create anything. There's no new art. Everything is already done, and that's kind of true. But every single thing that comes, as an artist myself, I can say like every piece of art that I make, the best ones just pours out of me. It comes in a stroke of inspiration, and it's me being an empty cup, and the universe is like, okay, there's an information I want to relay, and it's like, you be the vessel. But it'll only give a vessel that's an original, and you bring it out in a form that is unique to you. It's your thumbprint on it with the universe's thumbprint on it, because if you look at like certain things, like people take certain styles of photography, certain things, there are many things that many artists do that are similar. Like there are so many rappers. Many rappers talk about cars and hoes and bitches and all this shit. But Lil Wayne is different from 50 Cent. Eminem is different from Drake. Lil Baby is different from some other fucker. I don't know. But you get my point. Every single one of them is unique. I listen to certain music and certain art artists that are just true to me. Like Christopher Nolan is different from Quentin Tarantino. Dunkirk isn't Kill Bill, you know, but they're both fucking awesome. Like they're both fucking awesome. But at the same time, there's people like Steven Spielberg or like some other director that I can't think of right now, and I don't really like them. But then there's an entire like millions of people all around the world that like are like fans and they love his stuff, right? And these people are originals, and they're originals making art that's unique to them, that's an expression of their soul. They're painting the world with the colors of their soul, and they're doing that by being an original, knowing that who they are, digging deep within, and that's what makes you irreplaceable, right? And I'm gonna go deeper into how to do this. But you have to understand why and how this makes sense, right? There's a saying that you're a perfect being here in imperfect form. It means that your soul, your spirit, if you don't believe that stuff, it's just like, just think of it simply, not to get too wishy-washy or spiritual, whatever. It's just, you're fucking unique, right? The thumbprint shit. And as you grow up, as we grow up from the ages of 0 till up, right? You hear like your parents fighting in the background, and you hear your dad saying, your mom, oh, we have mortgage to pay and this and that, and like my dad never loved me and this, and all these traumas and pains start coming into you. It starts going into your subconscious mind. It develops your self-image and all these things. And maybe you were like 7 years old and you went for an athletic race and you lost, and that one girl that you liked was like loser, she went with some other guy, and that like put a dent in you. And for the rest of your teenage years and your adult years, you think of yourself as a loser. You don't even know this is why you're being a loser, but this is why. It's all these pains and traumas that you've accumulated in your youth and in your early years. And until you stop that cycle, it's gonna propagate and it's gonna keep going, right? And it's gonna keep going and keep going until you carry it on to your children and their children. And the more pain you have, the worse it is. The most abusive fathers create the biggest tyrants. They are the biggest tyrants, and they create even worse tyrants. And winners create winners, and happy people create happy people. It's a loop, right? This is what it's like, breaking generational curses. And to do this, to do all of this, you have to look within. You really have to. Because nobody fucking knows anything. The very few people who have achieved anything can only speak to the principles about how to do this, but they can't tell you exactly what to do. I can't tell you exactly what to do. I can tell you a lot of things, but not everything, right? The only person who knows out how to figure out this solution, this problem's solution, is you. And that's the thing. You don't become the hero of your story without learning to trust yourself. You can't become a creator in this universe, one of the originals, one of the heroes, so to say, somebody who knows themselves without trusting yourself. You have to dig deep within. Whatever you find, you have to accept it, good, bad, or ugly. You have to fall in love with it. Take all of it, make it into a cocktail, and then put it out in the world. Right? That's what I'm doing here. I'm combining my interest for philosophy, psychology, business, whatever, all this shit, and I'm combining it with my energy and my personality, and I'm putting it out. There's so many people out there who love philosophy. Like, I look at like Jordan Peterson and Alex Hormozy, okay? Two people I watch online. Jordan Peterson is this nerdy, yeah, Canada is this, but did you see, like, he's like that, right? And then Alex is like this Buddha philosopher who's just like sitting in his tank top, like, yeah, 100 million, yeah, we'll do it, you know. They're just very different guys, you know. But they have a common interest of philosophy. But that philosophies are, those things are expressed uniquely through their personality. And that's why it's different, that's why it's unique, that's why it stands out. That's what I'm doing. And nobody will beat me because I'm doing my shit. And the way to do this is to really dig deep in. You have to remember who you are before the world told you who to be. You have to remember who you wanted to be, who you were meant to be, before the world and like your friends and your family and everybody smash it out of you. And on your hero's journey, you have to fucking fight to protect that dream. It's like that scene in The Pursuit of Happiness. It's like when Will Smith tells his kid, like, Jaden Smith, yeah, he's like, if you have a dream, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. You have to fight for your dream, you have to protect it. And that's fucking true. That's literally why I have delusion, why delusion came to me in that eureka moment, why it came to me in that stroke of inspiration, why I am the one doing it, because I had set out to achieve a problem of creating this thing, geniuses at the brink of madness and all this shit. And through that entire 5 years, every single person I knew was fighting me to crush me in this. It wasn't even like they hated me. These are all people I loved, cared about, and everything. But when you're coming out, your light is coming out. It's like the movie Matrix. When you're breaking out of the Matrix, everybody starts becoming your enemy, and like they just start like trying to pull you back in, because they know you as the you are right now. And when you start deviating from that, their reality is shifting, because they identify their reality with you as a part of it. And if you change, they don't know their reality, and that causes like a cognitive dissonance. That causes like, hey, what the fuck is happening here? So you're actually messing with their reality, and that is why all these people are trying to tear you down and pull you down and all this shit when you're going through this process. But you have to fight for your dream in those moments, and you have to use those moments of going away from society to dig deep in, and you have to find out who you are. You have to really figure out like all the things you like. Like, what sports did you play in high school? Did you play it to fit in? Did you play it to impress some girl? Did you play that to impress your dad, who wanted you to be like a sports guy, a tough guy? Why did you choose to go to medical school? Why do you want to be a doctor? Is it because you actually like healing patients? Is it because you actually care about people's dental health? Or is it because you think dentists make 6 figures, 7 figures? Is that the reason? If you're doing it for those reasons, you'll never really win. You'll never be the best dentist on the planet. I fucking guarantee you that. You'll never be an original. You'll never be the best chiropractor or the best insurance guy or any of these things. Like, you won't be Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman's an original, although wrong path of life, but he's kind of like an original. Like, you'll never stand out, man. If you're not who you are being, who you're supposed to be, who you're meant to be, you'll never stand out. And it'll all begin from you looking within yourself. I'll tell you a story. Around 2017, I got really fucking depressed. I was like in college, second year law school. I picked law because I had an affinity. I loved like just like justice and like the legal, like the letter of the law, you say, like just doing right things, happening right, like those things. And I wanted to provide that to people. Like, I knew like I'll fight for people and I'll do good things, and that's why I picked it. But then it was also because I realized like midway through, I was like, I'll commit to this because it can make me like 6-figure job. I love justice and law, but I didn't want to be a lawyer. That's a big thing. It's a big difference. And just because I love justice and stuff doesn't mean that I should be a lawyer. Because I always wanted to be an entrepreneur from when I was 12, 10, 9, 14, and I started straying away from it as society started coming, mounting pressures. Parents are like, you need to do this, you need to go to college. The world, everybody started going to college and all this. And I started getting really fucking depressed in 2017. Because I'm like, what the fuck? Because I did these 2 internships and that was shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Everybody just goes to work, and then on the weekends they get drunk to escape from it, and then they repeat. And I started doing it, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm literally looking forward to the weekend. I'm living for the weekend. I hate my life on the weekdays. This sucks balls. And it was an unpaid internship, both of them. So like, it made things a lot worse, which I'm grateful for. Because of how shit that was, I was like, fuck that, I'm not going back to this, And when I got really depressed, I just locked myself in the room and I sat at home and all I did was watch like Gary Vee videos and YouTube videos of like Conor McGregor and all these guys who chase their dreams and their destinies. And I started taking in all their fucking mindset, Elliot Hulls and all these guys. And like even like people, different peoples in movies and all these things, just I started taking all of it in. And on that's on one side, and the other side I just started going all in on what I liked. Like I started looking through my Instagram stories and shit, and it's just videos of like me sharing philosophy quotes and like me sharing like UFC videos. I stopped watching football because I realized I liked UFC more than I like football. I stopped sharing like FIFA stuff or like video game stuff, and I started sharing all these stories of philosophy and like quotes of like Plato and Socrates and Immanuel Kant and all these people. And like I didn't even know what I was doing at that time. Like now I can look back and tell you, but I was just like digging deep into who I was, and I stopped listening to what was popular in the clubs, the music. I just listened to Eminem and 50 Cent all the time. I stopped, like I would be in the car and like people would be like, dude, stop listening to Logic all the time. And I was like, no, Logic is fucking amazing. MGK is great. Like I used to listen to what I liked, and I didn't care about what anybody said. I would listen to like hard techno while driving through traffic, and people would be like, this guy is fucking mad. People would get in my car, but I was living in this world of my own, I was a misfit, like just delusional, and I didn't fucking fit anywhere. But now today, all these different weird things that I did that was so boring, so lame, makes me original. Because today when I make an art, I put out an Instagram post or do anything, instantly it stands out. Now every single one of these people that talk shit about me, that try to stray me from my path, is copying me, is trying to be like me. They want to be a part of this shit. They want a piece of me, They're all trying to do this. They're all trying to talk like me. They're all trying to walk like me. They're all trying to be me, And I don't want them to be me. I really don't. As flattered as I am, as I take it as a compliment or as a threat or whatever. More than a competitor, I'm a philosopher. And I believe that every single person is unique. And I want you guys to see it. Like the people that have always known, I can't really help. They won't take my help even though I want to give it. But I can help you guys, Maybe they can help, they'll take my help later in some stage, but I can help you guys. And that all my quirks and my weird shit and my natural inclinations that made me a fucking moron, like a weirdo, a creep, or whatever, that didn't make me fit in, now makes me an original. And I did that by trusting my heart, by following my heart, by trusting my natural inclinations, by being like a little kid, a little stubborn kid. It's like, no, I want to listen to this, not that. No, I want to do this. It's really just that. Because look, we're all just children, okay? We're all like grown ass people in adult, like children in adult bodies. The people that are like grown up, I would say they're not grown up, they're dead inside. Okay, you look at the most successful people, you look at the, like in any field, doing what they love. And I'm not talking about money or fame or power or anything. I'm just saying people who are having an enjoyment of their life, a holiday out of their life. Every waking day is a gift, a blessing. They're being who they are, doing what they want, doing what they love. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. They're just being themselves and they're getting paid for it. That's it. Those people are like children. Masters are like children, because it's play, it's not work. And all the other people that are like grown-ups and adults, they're just like complaining about this and that, and all my uncles and my aunts and even my mom, my dad, like to some degree they're all like worn out from life, and they're lucky because they have me. I can be like, hey dad, mom, chill, I got this shit, you're good now. The sacrifice has paid off. Your boy's genius, it's good. But if you don't do the same for your parents, if you don't do that in your own life, you'll never stand out like that. You'll never be an original. And it's never too late to be an original. Okay, you have yourself. you can always become that person. It just gets a lot harder. I really do believe that after your 20s and your 30s, you can never really become the ultimate you in the way that you did. I know some people say like KFC guy and all these guys, like they became a super success in their 70s and stuff, and I do believe that's true. Like, but I don't think they started trying to become a success or chasing their journey that late. I think they were trying and trying, and they finally got the puzzle figured. These people figured out their life maybe at the end, but they started early, because it gets really hard to dig out all the bullshit that the world puts onto you at a later stage. The more you accumulate pain, the harder it is to remove. And the opposite is also true. Like, imagine you start becoming the hero of your own story and writing your own script at 14 years old, like Elon Musk and Warren Buffett and all these guys at the top, right? And you do that, and imagine the same person starting, like Elon starting at 14 versus Elon starting at 30. That's 1.5 decades ahead, right? This 30-year-old Elon won't beat the 14-year-old Elon. To say that he would is like just an insult to the 14-year-old Elon. It's like, this guy can still become Elon Musk in some form, but he can't become the Elon Musk that we know today. He can't become that guy, and he can still have fulfillment and be the hero of his own story and all that shit, but he can never be that. It's like Warren Buffett doing the same. 14 years old, he started earlier, and like Charlie Munger says, like Warren said, Warren is like richer than me because he started earlier when somebody asked him. And that's true. That's the compounding of money and laws and all that. But if you look at it, there's a compounding of the self. Being a winner for 2 extra decades than somebody, the confidence is totally something else. And the happiness and all that stuff that comes with it. So start early, as early as you can. That's something I regret as well. When I knew I should have started being an entrepreneur in 2017, when I got really depressed, I should have started then. I saw Ben Francis at that time doing Gymshark, and I also think I saw Alphalete, Christian Guzman, and I saw Shopify. I found out about Shopify while I was working at that internship, and I was like, I want to start a print t-shirt store and everything. And I thought of doing athleisure and like that stuff, like Gymshark sports fitness wear, but then I kind of realized like I didn't have the money to do it at that time, and I also kind of like wanted to put my own designs on shit. I don't know why, but I had that natural inclination, and I went into the print on demand store and all that. And it's so crazy because my products were so dog shit at that point, but because I fulfilled that natural inclination, now I'm an artist, and I think I'm a fucking ridiculously good artist. Like, I'm still getting better, I'm still learning, but I think I'm the shit, and I can make all this unique stuff. But now I can make a fashion brand, like I'm a creative who can make a fashion brand. And it's not, a fashion brand is not something you can do, not anybody can do. You have to be a creative to succeed in fashion. Like, to have a company that you build and you create, you have to be, you can be a business guy, investor, you can invest into something, you can buy something, you can acquire something, you can take it over, but you can't be a creative, you can't make it, and I can do that now. And if I had followed my that fake inclination to athleisure because of chasing money instead of my actual interest, I would have lost. If I had chased trying to become anything in those years, I would have lost, So you have to dig deep within yourself. Whatever excites you, your highest excitement, naturally, it will never make logical sense. It will not make financial sense most of the time. It will not make sense to your family. It will not make sense to your parents. It will not make sense to your friends. Every single person will try to tell you that it's wrong. As long as you're not doing anything illegal, as long as you're not doing anything dishonest, as long as you're not doing anything immoral, evil, which your heart will never pull you towards. Your body, your flesh will, but your mind might. But your conscious, your consciousness, your conscience always knows what's right, and it always pulls you towards that. And if you can just follow that in every single interest, start listening to the music that you like and stop listening to what other people like. Stop trying to fit in with your friends and trying to do what they think is cool. Start doing what you like. You just sit at home and do this shit. Just like watch, do and follow every single thing that you do already in your room alone when nobody is watching. The stuff that you don't tell your friends, the stuff that you don't want your family to know. I'm not talking about your interests in like, pea, corn and stuff, like all your hub stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your private interests that are from the kid in you, from the inner you, because that inner child knows everything. It knows everything you need to know. That kid had dreams and hopes and stuff. Like every kid wanted to be an astronaut, an entrepreneur, or like some crazy shit, right? I wanted to be special forces soldier, astronaut, or entrepreneur. And I'm being an entrepreneur. I'll be the special forces of entrepreneurship. And astronaut comes from that thing. Like I don't want to be a space guy. I don't like physics. I don't like math. I don't like any of that shit. But I realized that thing, the space, my love for that came from my love for the majesty, like the beauty of the universe. Like I dug deep enough to figure that out, why I liked the universe. I used to look through these encyclopedias of like planets and like, oh, we can go here, oh my god, this stuff is there. And that came from this awe of the world and everything in it. And that signaled the philosopher side in me. Like I find beauty in everything, in the little things, like the trees, the plants, the animals, the river. Like I find beauty in everything. There's a rock here right now that you guys can't see, but it's just a rock. It's just like a boulder, a small one. It's like this big, and I'm like, why is it shaped that way? Look how beautiful it is. It adds to the aesthetic. I actually think like this. I'm just like starstruck by every little thing. But that's me. You might see this and be like, what a retard, what a loser. What a fucking moron looking at a rock. There's so many better things to do. Why is he wasting time on this? But this is what makes me me. And that's what makes you you. Like I can't relate to any of the tech bros. I don't like crypto. I don't give a shit about AI. I don't give a shit about like coding or programming. I don't give a fuck about chemistry or physics. I don't give a fuck about finance. I don't quantum modeling and financial analysis and all. Fuck you. I don't care. You can tell me I'll become a billionaire if I try to become a finance guy. Nope. No thanks. Tell me to do anything that I don't want to do, I won't do it. And that's the thing. If you follow your heart, your natural inclinations, you will have everything you ever want, and you will disregard all the things you don't actually want. If you give me any offer to do something that isn't what I truly want, no amount of money, fame, power, nothing will buy me. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I want to do, the way I want to do it. I'm happy. And you can do this by digging deep within yourself, figuring out all the interests that you have that are natural, all the things that you are pulled to, where you pull towards cooking and food. Are you a foodie? Why do you like food? Oh, I don't know, it's just like I love holding it and cooking it. I like the way it smells and figuring out what the colors are. Or like, why do you like clothes? Oh, I don't know, like I like experimenting. I like the idea of making myself look different. Or why do you like thriller movies? Oh, I don't know, like it's just like you can dig deep within. Like every single great guy, like great person, successful person has that. A Christopher Nolan movie isn't a Quentin Tarantino movie. Elon Musk going to space isn't Jeff Bezos going to space. They're very different, and they're both doing it. You can do something the other person is doing with your own thing. So stop trying to fucking be other people. And I'll give you this other tip for guys is shave your hair off, go bald. If you're young, this is awesome, because most guys take care of their hair and you try to want to be all this like look good shit because you want to impress your friends and be like other people and everything. Once you take your fucking hair off and you stop giving a fuck, you realize how little that shit matters, how little your appearance matters, how little all these things matters. What matters is who you are, how you accept yourself. And when you look like a baldy, you look ugly if you feel like, and you can accept that. That's like a small step in the right direction. then you can start accepting all the things about you that you don't like. I don't like that I'm 6'3" and skinny, fat, and like I'm in horrible shape. I don't like that I wasn't a jock, but I accept it. I'm not a natural athlete. I'm not a jock in any way. I'm a nerdy, weird, awkward kid who's smart and has like these weird interests about like philosophy and stuff that everybody thinks is like a loser. Like when I was trying to figure this shit out about myself, I looked through like my high school diary, like the, what do you call it, the yearbook, the album, and in that the quote I chose was, "Forever is composed of nows." I don't even know why I picked that shit. I didn't understand what that lesson was. Forever is composed in the nows. It means be present, right? And like life is lived in the moment and shit. I didn't understand that lesson. Like I didn't really understand and practice that lesson until 2023. Okay, and I had that in my diary in 2015-14. I put it there because I wanted to be a cool like philosophy, like Rumi, Plato type guy. I wanted to be that. I wasn't, but I was in that inside, and that was my natural inclination. And when I was a kid, I would go to clothing stores and stuff, and I would spend a lot of time looking at it. And my parents would be like, "Stop being like a little girl," and I would hoard clothes, and I would just like collect, and I would love keeping it arranged by the colors and stuff. And like my parents would be like, "Stop being like a girl," and it repelled me away from it. I would love drawing blueprints of like architecture and shit, but I was never an architect or anything. I was worst like person at drawing. All my cousins had all these skills to become artists and draw and everything. I had no talent, nothing. Out of every single person in my family, every single person could draw or perform some kind of art. They could do something. I was the only one who couldn't do anything. Like I always had like a little bit of like a acting thing, but I was never an artist. I never saw myself as an artist. But then because I pursued my natural inclinations, my excitement, I kept digging deep within. Now I am that, and it's the same for every single one of you, man. Whatever pulls you, whether it's different weird music, weird movies, games, maybe it's none of this, maybe it's farming, or like taking care of turtles in like the Maldives, or like helping victims of human trafficking, or like I don't know, writing computer programs. It could be anything. Repairing cars, cutting hair, figuring out how oil works in refineries. Whatever pulls you, go towards it. Just dig in, find who you are. Nobody knows, nobody can tell you. This is all anybody can tell you. Give into your natural inclinations, find out your true strengths. Stop giving into all society's stuff. Stop letting them take your shit away, your dreams away. Fight for your shit. Follow your heart. Trust your excitements. There's nothing else anybody else can tell you, because all the answers are inside you, and the only person who knows it is you. And how you become an original is by finding that and accepting it. And there's a lot of other things you have to do on the way. You'll have to confront your shadow, and you'll have to learn a lot of lessons. But this is the essence of it. Everything, I can't put it all into one video, but just dig deep, find out who you are.